Hey everyone, Vel here with batteries in a flash. Today we're tackling a common issue with servers, replacing the batteries in an uninterruptible power supply, specifically the APC SMT 2200 or MTU that's backing up our POS server. I don't know if you can hear the beeping in the background, but it's the indicator that the battery was bad, and it literally drove me nuts until I figured out what it was. Behind me is our server rack with the APCs that we are going to be working on. Alright, let's get started.
Okay, the first thing you're going to need to do is remove this cover right here, and you simply just pull. It's just tabs. That's it. The second thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to remove this blue connector. You just pull it away like that, no clips or anything. Third thing we need to do is we're going to remove 3 screws, which are this top corner over here, this top corner on the right side, and then there is another screw down here below on the bottom. I'm going to be using my drill on the lowest setting with the lowest power so I don't strip anything out. Okay, now I got the screws removed and the clip removed. All we got to do is pull out. This may be a little challenging. Oh, this one was easy. There we go. Okay, I am at my bench now, and it's real simple. There are 2 screws here, and then in the back. In a minute when I am ready for those, I'll get those off. Again, drill on the lowest power setting. Get this cover removed. And the last 2 screws. Alright, just because I'm a neat freak. Okay, just because I'm a neat freak, let's get this cleaned up a little bit. Get all that dust and dirt off. And what I'm going to do, move this cover to reveal the batteries on the inside. Here you can see that it is these batteries are swollen. There's the corrosion starting to leak out. So yeah, these batteries were toast. Luckily we caught them before they got too bad, or else it would have made it harder to pull out. All right, here's the wiring diagram that we're going to be following. If I didn't have this, then I would have had a piece of paper marking the way these batteries are configured. But let's get these out. Clean those up. So I'm going to start with the middle. It's probably going to be the easiest to start working on. And just pop these tabs off. Some are going to be easier than others. There we go. These 2 batteries are connected together. get this one out. Go. All right, got the first 4 out. Now we're going to get these rest. Actually, let me turn this around. Get these off. Word of caution, be careful of these edges, they get you. Okay, we are back. I've got all my supplies ready. Had to take a brief intermission to reattach my finger, but we're good to go. So, following our diagram, first battery, the black. Here's the black. Going to attach that like that. All right, and we have a yellow that is going to be connected to our other battery. Okay, the next one, we're going to attach that other black and yellow, the other black and jumper. I believe it was this one. And this guy right here. Okay. These 2 cables are on the side here. We just need to push those out of the way. There we go. And now those 2, these are all set. Okay, the next battery is going to connect to this yellow jumper and then one of these little jumpers that go in between. All right, so we need to make sure that the black is on this side and the red is on that side. That's going to connect to our yellow jumper, our long one. So that connects to there. All right. And then our little yellow jumper connects to here. All right. That battery's set. Next battery is going to be set like this. Red terminal on the left side and the black terminal connected to that yellow. So here we go, that's this one. Get that in there. We'll get our short jumping terminal, and we gotta make sure this wire lays in here nicely. Then we need to get this in here. All right. Okay. We got this terminal. Okay, We'll swap this around just to make it a little easier. And we'll keep this oriented with the connector with the front so we don't get confused. All right, next battery. Facing this way, red terminal on the left side, that is on the black side. And so the black gets the jumper. Okay. And then the red gets the yellow jumper. And we're gonna push that forward. Ah, wrong yellow jumper. We have this one already here. Yeah, this one's already here. And we gotta push that forward. All right. Now, to make it easy, I'm actually going to do this next one on this side. And so here we're going to connect this red jumper to his back terminal, like so. Push it up, make sure it's secure. All right, and then the yellow terminal that I just connected, and goes in here. All right, and we're going to drop this in carefully. So these wires are getting tricky, so just make sure you're not crushing them. You're moving them out of the way. All right, there we go. Kind of tricky. Okay. That terminal, we have that terminal. All right. Now, it's actually a little tricky to go in this way first. So I'm actually going to go this way first. So I'm going to connect this yellow first. Believe it or not, this is actually really tricky to do when you're looking down the camera lens instead of directly at the there we go. And that will end up down there, and with this here, get that in there, and we will get this positioned. All right, and the last two connect to this. All right, so probably easiest if I connect this one. There we go. Get this wire here. Pulled up, connect it in, and then we can push this down. That was the plastic rubbing against each other, but crackling noises always are scary. There's a little ridge in here, so we just gotta make sure that we clear that. All right, let me move this out of the way. I'm gonna turn this back around. I'm just gonna go through and just double check all my seating. Okay. Okay, a couple more steps. First thing we need to do, we're gonna just double check the voltage on this system. Make sure that we're getting what we expect to get, which is 48 volts or greater. So here I have my multimeter set to DC. And so the top of this Anderson connector is going to be the negative. The positive is on the bottom. And there you see we've got 50 volts. So we got exactly what we're looking for. So we know it's connected correctly. We wouldn't get that if one of these was miswired. All right, any technician worth his salt will always date when he's installed these so that anybody else that ever gets in here will know. When the last time these were serviced. Okay. All right, in the last order of business, we need to put the lid back on. So it's just real easy, just snaps down, pushes down. All right. So here, the lowest setting, on the screw setting, on the lowest setting, and the slowest setting, we're gonna put these in. It should just stop when it gets some resistance. There we go. You can't damage it this way. All right, turn it around. Same thing in the back. Okay, I'm just gonna have to push this a little bit. Okay. Okay, I don't think this one's seated correctly. There we go. All right, the last step is to get it reinserted, do a system check on it, and call it a day. Okay, it's real simple. So we're gonna do everything in the reverse. So we're gonna slide the battery unit back in. By the way, this is really heavy. It's probably a good 40 pounds. So we'll slide it back in. Make sure your wire's out of the way. Locked in place. We have our 3 screws we're gonna put in to secure it. There we go. I had to turn the drill up on that one. All right, and last one. There we go. Okay, last step is to plug this in. Again, black on top, red on bottom. There we go. I'm going to reapply the cover. Okay, now you can see that it already suggested new battery installation. So we're going to hit the up to say yes, and then we're going to hit this little enter button. Battery install date, June 24. Enter. Enter. And then it shows the battery is 100% with a 0% load, because I'm not really backing up a lot of equipment on here. So now what I want to do is I want to just do a quick test on it. So we're going to go to test and diags, enter, UPS self-test, yes. enter, up for yes, enter. It cycles the battery. Progress in test. Self-test passed. Now these batteries came fresh out of the box, and when you ship batteries, they cannot be fully charged, so this battery system does need a good charging, but being in this system, it'll charge overnight and it'll be done. All right, just got one other battery system to do, and my servo will be up and running 100%. Okay, so I just got done building out my second unit, and I realized I didn't talk about what battery you're gonna need. But as you can see, you're gonna need 2, 4, 6, 8 batteries, and you're looking for a 12 volt, 5 amp battery. So that's this size factor. And you're gonna need what's called an F2 terminal, or a 0.25 wide spade connector for this particular unit. The brand doesn't necessarily matter, but there are some brands that do better. And you'll just have to check reviews to see which one. I do like MPP, Excel Battery, UPG. Those are all great ones. Brightway, those are all great brands, and I sell majority of those. But yeah, you're gonna need 8, 12 volt, 5 amp. Depending on the price, it's probably gonna run you somewhere between probably somewhere between $20 to $30 a battery at around the time I'm making this. And so probably looking at $200 to replace the batteries in this. But when you think about how much I paid for the whole entire unit, which was I think $2,500 for each UPC, it really comes down to being a great deal for $200 to get this back to 100% usability. All right.
One last thing, I replaced 2 APC battery trays. It came out to 16 batteries total. You want to make sure that you properly recycle these batteries. You can see that these batteries are leaking battery acid and have toxic lead in them. You don't want these leaching into our water or soil by throwing them away in the trash. Luckily, these batteries can be recycled 99% and all the plastic, lead and acid is reused. So find a local recycler or take them to a Home Depot, Lowe's or auto parts shop and they will take them. Be sure to subscribe, click the bell and follow Batteries in a Flash for more battery videos.